Hello, I'm Shelby, and this is where I talk about books and stuff. Hi, hello, and welcome to my first weekend reading vlog. This is not actually the first time I've filmed a weekend reading vlog. I filmed one last weekend, and I'm absolutely kicking myself because I basically deleted over half the footage. I was filming on my iPhone and I was trying to transport the files from my iPhone to my iPad because I was running out of storage. And basically what ended up happening is I thought I was deleting just off of my iPhone, and I apparently deleted it completely off of all of my devices. So I didn't get to post anything or edit anything, and I'm very, very frustrated. But that is why I actually purchased a vlogging camera, and so I'm going to be getting it I think some point today. So if you notice that the quality gets any better, that's why. So what's on the agenda for this weekend in terms of reading? I have started Pet Sematary. I started that yesterday, late afternoon / early evening, and I read some of it last night, and then I also listened to the audiobook again today while I was commuting, getting ready, stuff like that. So I am a little over a third of the way done with that. Okay, so I apologize for the change in scenery, but yet again, my phone stopped recording because I was running out of storage. So that is another reason why I am getting a vlogging camera, because I just cannot keep doing this. So yeah, I'm a little over a third of the way done with Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I didn't say that, but I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. But it is so good. It is so surprisingly good. I've heard nothing but rave things about Pet Sematary, but it's been absolutely engaging since the very beginning, and the writing is phenomenal. I have marked off several lines and kind of phrases that just were incredibly poetic. One of the ones I'm thinking of off the top of my head is he refers to himself laughing at a point as rotten giggles, and I'm like, I just never heard something like that before. I just think that's so cool. So yeah, the agenda is to read Pet Sematary, and I think I should be able to finish it either by tomorrow or at some point on Sunday. I think there's a pretty good possibility that I could finish it tomorrow. Just depends on how busy this weekend is for me. And then the next book I have on the agenda is Detransition Baby. But I mean, I don't know a lot about Detransition Baby, which I kind of prefer. I prefer going into it pretty blind. So tonight I'm going to book club, and the book that we read was If We Were Villains, which I read a few weeks ago, and I liked it, definitely liked it. Also, I've got an appearance. I've also need to introduce you to my pup, Ghost. Say hello. Look right there. Look right there. Yeah, she's a French bulldog named Ghost. She's my entire world. I love her so much. So, but yeah, hopefully my camera's gonna get here soon. It said it was gonna get here by 7 tonight. I hope it gets here before book club, and then I can do maybe an unboxing or something, but might not get there before then. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I think I'm just gonna chill for a bit. I don't think I'm gonna pick up Pet Sematary right now, just because I'm a little tired and I just kind of want to chill. So, and I'm hanging out with this one. I know. I love you too. I love you too. Okay, so I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Bye. Okay, so I took a nap and overslept a little bit. So I'm heading out to book club right now. I gotta pick up a pizza on the way. Okay, so I'm on the way to book club right now. I received my camera in the mail and I got too excited and I started putting it together and everything, but it's completely dead, so I'm charging it. And so I'm, using my iPhone for right now. But it looks really, really cool. I have no idea how the quality compares to the iPhone, so hopefully it's better. But no reading update. I just basically took a short nap and then now I'm heading to book club. So I'm about to drop by Mellow Mushroom to pick up a pizza because we kind of all bring, food or drinks or appetizers or something like that. And so I was like, I don't really want to make anything. I'm just gonna pick up a pizza. Okay, so I'm back from book club. I'm sorry I didn't vlog. I was just hanging out with friends and it was a good time, but I am back home now and it's like literally almost 11:30. I've been here for a little bit, but I was trying to figure out my camera. I don't know how the quality looks compared to my iPhone. Like, I feel like it's probably better, but I'm not entirely sure until I see it on the computer and everything, but I'm liking it so far. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and get ready for bed and everything, wash my face, do my skincare and everything. And then maybe I'll read a little bit before I go to bed, but I'm not gonna read too much because I'm pretty tired, so yeah. Okay, so I am in bed. I have done my skincare routine. I'm feeling much better. I've got the lovely Ghost just chilling next to me. She is snoring and farting quite a bit, but I am on page 185 of Pet Sematary, and again, it is so good. I don't know if I've given any sort of synopsis. I like to go in pretty blind when I'm reading a book, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone else, but a very brief synopsis is that there is a doctor who moves to a college town to work at a university infirmary, and it's in Maine, and he moves his family up there with him. He's got a wife and 2 kids, and both his kids are younger. I think his daughter's maybe 5, and they have a pet cat. And in this town, there is this cemetery where children will bury their pets. But past that, there's some added, I don't want to give anything too much away, but creepiness ensues. And it was interesting. I was listening to Stephen King's thoughts on this book, and he said it's his scariest book ever, and I can definitely see why he thinks it's so scary. And he was like, I can't publish this thing, and if he says that's pretty bad. But yeah, so I mean, so far it's really, really engaging. Again, I'm 185 pages in and I'm really, really loving it. He's got this neighbor who is this older man, and he's kind of the guy that's showing him the ropes in this town. And there's definitely some creepy vibes from him. But yeah, it's really, really good so far. This is my, let's see. So Misery, The Talisman, what did I just read? Carrie, and I've also read On Writing, but that doesn't really count. So I've read 4 books by him. This is my 5th one, and this will say is like, I mean, there's not a slow moment yet. So in my edition, which is like, I love all of my Stephen King editions. I got all of these off of Abe Books, and I was like looking for all of them. Actually, I'll get up and show you guys because I just think it's so cool. So here are the Stephen King books I have so far. Obviously, like, this is my missing spot. I'm like constantly taking books on and off my shelves because I'm like lending them out to people, or I'll like take it out for a video or something like that. So this is my Stephen King collection so far, and I want to keep finding as many of these copies as I can. I definitely need to tackle this one and also this one. Both of these are just, I mean, so long. So, but yeah. So, and I'm sure you can just hear this little baby just snoozing away. People think that I'm joking when I talk about how loud she is, but I am definitely not. So, yeah. But I don't know if I'm gonna read anymore. I think I'm a little tired and I may just head on to bed. Tomorrow I have kickboxing at 10:45, and I may be going to this home tour thing here in town. There's this like historic downtown homes in my city, and specifically the art in the homes. So I don't know, my family got a free ticket, so I may go to that. But I think I might be able to read a little bit tomorrow morning before I go to kickboxing, and hopefully I'll be reading some more tomorrow afternoon. I don't know if I have anything planned in the evening yet. I mean, I don't have anything planned yet right now, but I mean, that could definitely change. So, but yeah, so I'm probably gonna head on to bed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Oh my god. Okay, that's what I sound like. Okay, so I just woke up, and so I'm going to go ahead and fix myself some coffee and chill out for a little bit. I slept a little bit later than I was hoping to. I was hoping to get up more like 8, and it's 9 right now. So I don't know that I'm gonna have a ton of time to read and everything. But yeah, so good morning. So I'm on my way to kickboxing right now, and I did listen to a little bit of the audiobook as I was getting ready. So what I'll say is I think I can see where
the book is going. There's something that's going on with actually Lewis's children, one of Lewis's children, that makes me think that a certain thing's gonna happen. Again, I want to be vague because I personally hate it when a book is like spoiled for me. I don't even like to know, like, I don't even read the synopsis on the inside cover of a book. Like, I just basically want to be like, maybe know a slight premise, but I don't like, sometimes people will tell you, hey, this is what the book's about, and you would have had to read a third of the book to get, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to have the first third of the book spoiled for me. Like, so, but basically, I think I know the direction the book's going in. It's still really great, but I'm about to pull into, you know, the parking lot of my gym, which is literally in a just like strip mall, which is so bizarre. Like, I always end up parking right in front of Papa Murphy's, and I find it so funny that I'm like going into a workout class and I'm like seeing all of these people getting pizza. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is. So I have just gotten here and I'm gonna try and polish off my Celsius before I walk inside. And so yeah, I'll see you soon. Okay, so I am back from kickboxing. It was a really good workout. And now I am heading back home. And I will fix myself some breakfast and, you know, get cleaned up, all of that. So, oh, I'm so thirsty. It was a good workout. Okay. All right. I will see you at home then. Okay, so I am back and it is much later in the day. It's about 4:20 right now, 4:20 blaze it. No, I'm kidding. My birthday is on 4:20 and I have never lived it down. So, not my favorite holiday, I have to say. But a little bit of a reading check-in. So obviously I am showered, I look like a person, I've put on makeup and everything. I'm not going anywhere right now, but I think I probably will later. So I was like, might as well just like look like a person for a second. Right now I am on chapter 37, which is the, I think it's the second chapter of part 2. One second, let me go back. Yeah. So I've just gotten to part 2, and basically the thing that I thought was gonna happen did basically happen, not in the same way that I thought it would and not at the same time. I was like, oh, I feel like this is kind of coming up, and it didn't, and then something completely different happened. But it is kind of
on track for where I think this story's going. But again, I'm not sure, I could be wrong. One thing that I'm finding really, really interesting about the book that I wasn't expecting. I'm sorry if like it bothers you guys that I'm chewing gum. I don't know, I just like to chew gum. So I know that's like a, you know, like pet peeve of some people's. But so one of the things that I really was not expecting about this story is there is a lot of intelligent discussion around death itself. At the beginning of the novel, we are told that Lewis's wife, Rachel, her sister died when she was young, and that has basically affected her whole life. And basically Lewis doesn't know much about it. He has said, you know, for some reason, Rachel won't talk about this with me. I don't push it. Like, you know, it's not my business. It's really, but it's obviously had a lasting impact on her as a person. And because of that, she's very like death phobic. She, and this isn't like a major spoiler or anything, but like she like won't go to funerals or anything like that. And so there's also a discussion that he has with her kind of about like what it's like to be at the point, especially like her sister was sick, and so her family was taking care of her as she was sick, and what it's like to be a caretaker for someone who's dying. And I thought it was really interesting because they kind of talk about like resenting that person and being almost happy when they die. And I know that sounds very like morbid and all of that, but I think it's normal for that sort of thing to happen. I don't have as much of experience with that, but I know my mom did. My grandmother lived with us for a while, and those final days, it's really, really hard. And it's like, sometimes it's a little bit of a blessing. So, but you know, it really has this interesting discussion about death. I have found it to be a really interesting topic and not one that I would think would be in this book. Yeah, something really sad just happened. And again, I was saying like I kind of thought it would happen, and I think I know I think that the characters are going to be pushed to a limit to do something that they shouldn't do, but I think that's going to happen. So I'm about to fix myself lunch. I know it's really weird. Like I ate breakfast around 12:30, and then I eat my lunch usually it's more like 3:30, but I don't know. I kind of just like laid around for a little bit, and then I like really slowly got ready. You know, when you like don't have anywhere to be for some reason, that like takes you 2.5 hours, something crazy like that. But yeah, I'll also show you guys my outfit. Not that anyone probably cares, and it's not anything fancy, but I'm wearing my Goonies t-shirt and these jeans. I think they're from Oliver and Logan, and then my fun little slippers. So yeah, but, and I also was like trying to figure out how to take pictures on this camera, and I did finally figure it out, so that's really exciting. I am going to go make myself something for lunch, and then I think I may be going to dinner with my parents tonight, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so now that I've got my laziest lunch ever, I love it. It's the Annie Chun's spicy miso and shoyu ramen. So I am pescatarian, so I only eat fish, seafood, stuff like that. But it's so hard for me to find ramen that doesn't have like chicken or beef or pork, whatever. But this one, they're a little pricier and it's like fresh. It's fresh noodles instead of dry ones. So they're so good. And like I make 2 of them and then I put a soft boiled egg in each so I have some extra protein. So I'm gonna eat my food and I'm gonna listen to my audiobook while I am eating. I just took a picture of my page. Again, Stephen King's descriptions in this book. So he said Church, which Church is the name of their family cat. So he said Church came oiling slowly and rustily out of the pantry at the sound of the refrigerator door and stared inquiringly up at Lewis. Came oiling slowly and rustily, like just these descriptions, I don't know, are standing out to me more than a lot of prose I've read in a while. I don't know why. I just find he's using descriptions in a way that I've never heard before. So, back to reading. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm switching to my iPhone yet again, but my camera battery is charging. I am still figuring out like how long this battery lasts, and I actually already ordered some extra batteries so that I can like pop them in because I'm like running out like crazy. But yeah, I'm about to head to dinner with my family, and I just switched my shirt and I'm wearing like my clogs that I wear to work like almost every day. So, but I will probably see you guys after dinner. Honestly, I don't know how much I'm gonna be drinking tonight, so I may not read much more today. Okay, I am back, and surprise, surprise, I've had several old fashions and an espresso martini, so I'm a little tipsy and I'm not gonna be reading anymore tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna get changed out of this outfit and into some comfy pajamas. But yeah, Ghosty, say hello to everyone. Hey, come here, look. Looky right here. Looky right there. Okay, so I'm in my pajamas now, and I'm about to do my skincare and everything. I'm definitely not going to read anymore tonight. I just do not have the mental capacity, and I'm enjoying the book too much to be like, I don't know, not retaining it. I think it's a really, really good book. So yeah, I don't want to just read a bunch while I'm a little bit tipsy and feel like I got nothing out of it. So I'm just gonna, you know, read it tomorrow. I think I will probably finish it tomorrow. Hopefully I'll start Detransition Baby tomorrow. Let me grab the book. It is by Tori Peters, and
I'm really excited to read it because I really like any representation for trans people. I think that that is definitely an aspect of literature that needs to be explored more, and I really appreciate that whenever it's represented in any stories. So I'm really excited to pick this one up. I really don't know much about it. I think based off of the title, I'm guessing it has to do with the detransition, but I really am not gonna read too much into that, and I'm completely fine with that because again, I've talked about it at length that I really am one of those readers that like, it's interesting because a good friend of mine, like, he watches booktube religiously, and he like learns everything he can about a book before he reads it and is like, okay, I know 100% I'm gonna like this book. For me, I don't do that. I literally rarely know anything about the plot. I actually knew about the plot of Pet Sematary because I am a pretty avid watcher of Noelle Gallagher. She's one of my favorite booktubers, and I've kind of gotten to the point where when I start watching other people's videos, whenever they start giving a synopsis, I just start fast forwarding through it because I'm like, I love you, like I want to hear like your thoughts on the book, but I literally don't want to know what it's about. So what I have learned is that sometimes it burns me because sometimes I pick up a book and I'm like, man, if I had known the synopsis of this book, I just would have known that I didn't like this book. An example of that for me is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I don't know why I said that. I read the 5th season, which is the first book of the Broken Earth trilogy, and really liked it. I haven't read the 2nd one yet, but I am definitely planning to in the near future. But basically, I have a thing with plots or premises that I find to be like hokey or silly, and unfortunately that book fell in that category for me. And it's one of those situations in hindsight where if I had known the premise, I just never would have picked up the book. I would have just known right off the bat, like, this sounds silly to me. Like, it just does. The book was very well written. Like, I'm not gonna say it wasn't. I mean, it's a lot of people's, one of their top fantasy books. So I'm not gonna say it's a bad book. I'm just gonna say that the premise was hokey to me. So that's a situation where if I had just known what it was about, I wouldn't have picked it up. But then there's books like Hollow Kingdom, which is one of my favorite books of all time, that is just an absolutely outrageous premise, and it was done so well. It was so self-aware. Another example, like I just read this a few weeks ago, is Gideon the Ninth, and the tagline for that book was, or at least the tagline that I saw somewhere, was lesbian necromancers in space. And I was like, okay, like I just thought it was gonna be this very absurd thing. Like, I'm all for LGBT representation, but I just like was like, okay, how is this gonna work? And surprisingly, I had 0 issues with the premise. I did have issues with the book. It wasn't even a 4 or 5 star read for me, but for completely different reasons. The premise I thought was very well done. So I've just learned that I would prefer not know anything and just form my own opinion about the book, and that's that, than go in with expectations ahead of time. So yeah, that's my long rant about, you know, synopses and everything, and why I'm okay barely knowing anything. I know I haven't really gotten a ton further today. I think I'm at roughly 60% done with Pet Sematary. And again, I've done physical reading today as well as audiobook. Done a lot of audiobook today just because today ended up being a little bit more action-packed than I thought it would be. And you know, I also have been like pretty tired. Like sometimes I like to read before bed, but I'm just not in the headspace for that, to be honest. Good morning. It is Sunday and it's about 8:30. I've been up for just a little bit and I'm about to, you know, emerge from my room and fix myself some coffee and enjoy some nice morning reading. Do we want to say hi to Ghost? Ghost, say good morning. Good morning. One thing I forgot to mention is at some point today I'm going to have to, not just at some point, like while it's open today, because Sunday the library has, you know, different hours than throughout the week. But I have a book that is available for pickup, and you know, they only hold the book for a certain amount of days, and today is the last day to pick it up, so I need to pick that up. Got my book here. I'll grab my AirPods as well and, you know, listen to it while if I'm doing other things. But yeah, it's gonna be a good day. I feel good today, so. Is it just me, or is that first sip of your coffee? Ooh. So I showed it earlier, but I don't technically drink coffee. I say it's a dirty chai, but it's really like a lazy version of a dirty chai. Because if you don't know, a dirty chai is a chai latte with a shot of espresso or several shots of espresso. So what I do is I just brew coffee and then I put chai mix into it. And so it pretty much achieves everything that I'm looking for. And I used to like go to Starbucks and stuff and buy that drink, and it was like $9. It was insane. So now I like have an Amazon subscription where it just keeps sending me the chai mix, and I get them in like boxes of 6, and it comes like every, I don't know, like month or so. I can't remember what my recurrence is. So, whew. I was watching back the footage from yesterday and I just thought it was funny what I looked like in the morning and like how it took me time to look like a person. Over the day I started becoming a person. I think I don't look quite as I don't look quite as bad today. I don't know what was up yesterday. So it's like really, really foggy outside, which, you know, I hate rain, and I hate being out in rain. But like foggy, misty, rainy days, like sitting on a porch, oh my God, it's just like unparalleled. Okay, on to more reading. Okay, second cup of coffee and more reading. There's no such thing as being too caffeinated in my book. Back to reading.
Okay, so I just read another 60, 70 pages or so. I'm on page, one second, I'm on page 360. And so there's about 100 pages left of the book. It's definitely at the climax of the book. Things are happening. People have been pushed to their breaking points, and it's so good. I am going to go ahead and get ready and everything. I mean, it's like 11 and I'm still in my little PJ set. So I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna listen to the audiobook while I'm getting ready. At least the audiobook says that I'm over 75% of the way done. So, you know, I'll get ready and everything and talk to you guys after, because I'll have gotten through another chunk, you know, after that. But again, like this, I understand why Stephen King found this book to be like his scariest or his most creepy book. I think that I still have yet to get to the part where, you know, it's truly terrifying. I'm also like very difficult to scare. But again, right now it is such a page turner. So I really like have to find out how it ends. I have to find out what ends up happening. I don't think it's gonna be good. I mean, this is a Stephen King horror book, so like what do we expect? But yeah, I will check in with you guys in a bit and hopefully I will look a little bit more put together when you see me. Okay, I'm back and I'm cleaned up. I have listened. I don't know, I was getting ready for about like an hour or so. And so now I've checked to where I synced up in the actual book, the physical book. And so now I'm on page 403. So there's again about like 60 pages left. So, and there's like 2 hours and something minutes left on the audiobook. Right now I'm deep in the suspense. It's like that build up where you're like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It hasn't quite happened yet, but it's about to. So I don't know where this is gonna go. I've heard that the ending to this is shocking, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, so I am having a good time. Also, you know, I was talking about how Michael C. Hall is doing such a good job narrating this book. There's a part where there's dogs howling and he literally howls. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I like that you like knew the assignment and you completed it for sure. So yeah, I'm about to make myself some breakfast. It's like a little before 12:30. So I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat, and then hopefully I should finish this like very soon. Once I finish, I think I'm gonna head to the library and then maybe do like a Target run or something, because there's some groceries I need to get, and I also like have some just like miscellaneous items that I need that are not grocery related. So yay, a beautiful avocado. Love it when that happens.
Voila, here is my absolutely delicious breakfast. Ooh, it's one of my favorites. Gotta love a good avocado toast, I'm telling ya. All right, I finished, and wow. I actually still have, like, I was tearing up, not because I was sad, but like it freaked me out so much I was tearing up. Man, the last, like, I don't know how many pages, probably like, I don't know, 20, 30 pages were just an absolute wild ride. I mean, I have chills, my heart was pounding. I mean, this was phenomenal. I feel like, I don't know how I am gonna find a horror book to beat this. I really don't. So I'm very curious. Like, I haven't read The Shining yet, but this definitely beat Carrie. This definitely beat Misery. I liked Misery a lot. I loved Misery, honestly. But this book, whew. I think I need to like grapple with my thoughts just a little bit. I have no words. I'm still tearing up just a little bit, so. But yeah, so I loved it. I really did. I understand why he thinks this is the scariest book. I will say, you know, most of the book, it's very suspenseful. You can feel something coming, something big coming, and then it's just like the ending. I mean, the ending as in like the third act, that whole section is just, I mean, like puts your stomach in knots. But even further, like the last page, I'm like, good God, holy shit. So I truly did love it. So I do not have time to go to the store. It's a little after 2, and so I need to run to the library real quick and come back, and then I'm gonna need to change and get ready for yoga tonight. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and start listening to Detransition Baby, at least while I'm on the way to the library and everything and coming back. So I'll probably check in with you guys. Might be in my car when I check in with you guys. I think I'll at least take you to the library with me. I'll show you what I'm gonna return. So I am returning Malibu Rising, which I haven't read because I don't have time to. I have too many other books that I'm reading, and so I will resubmit a hold for this at some point when I'm ready to read it. And then I'm also returning Cultish, and I also haven't read this one, but I've already ordered it because when I put a hold on this, I didn't know that it was a nonfiction book, and I like to buy my nonfiction books for some reason. I just like having them on my shelves. Even if it wasn't an absolute love for me, I still like to have them because I feel like, I don't know, it kind of expands on me as a reader. Even if I don't enjoy a nonfiction book, I'm like, I either, you know, learned about someone's experience or their lived experience, or I learned about something in history or, you know, something culturally. So I just like to have those on my shelf. So I'm gonna return this because both of these, I don't have any like automatic renewals for them, or I don't have any renewals available for them because other people have them on hold. Oh, I'm also returning Tess of the D'Urbervilles, but it's in another room. I will grab that in a second. So. Okay, I am leaving the library now. Just dropped off my books that I had checked out, and I got a new book. Okay, so from the library I got Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. I think that's how you say her name. but I heard about this book because Mentally Booked on Instagram, who I follow, raved about it and said like it was one of her favorite reads or whatever from this year. So, and I just like loved the title. I don't know, I thought it sounded funny. I really have no idea what to expect, but I just feel like, you know, it looks like it's going to be a fun time. So I have listened to a very small amount of Detransition Baby on audiobook. I really can't say anything about it in terms of plot or writing. It's just too early to tell, but I'm going to keep listening. Again, I don't have a ton of time because I really need to be home by around 3 so I can get changed and everything and then go to yoga. Yeah, really excited about Night Bitch. I think that'll be a fun read. So I'm about an hour into the audiobook, and right now we're kind of just getting the backstory, I think. So we've got our main characters, I believe, Reese and Ames. So Reese basically mentions that she is a trans woman and she was in a relationship with another trans woman named Amy. However, Amy has detransitioned and is Ames. And then we're getting Ames' perspective, and basically Ames has gotten a woman pregnant, and that's what we know so far. I'm pretty sure all of that was in the synopsis, but this has literally happened. All of this is set up in the first few pages for us, so definitely not giving away any sort of spoilers or anything. But I don't really know if I like any of the characters yet, because it's not really, we haven't really gotten insight into who the characters are. It's mainly just setting up their situations in life. So, but I mean, right now, I mean, the writing's fine. I don't have any issues with the writing. Usually that's something you can tell, or at least I can. That's something I can tell very quickly. You know, I can very quickly in a book if I, you know, jive with the author's writing style. And I have no issues at this point. So, you know, I'm excited to read more or listen to more as of right now. I think that it's going to be a really fast-paced book. I bet that tonight I'm probably going to be able to read quite a bit, but you know, you never know. It could have just a very quick start and that be that. So, but I will check back with you guys after I am back from yoga. So here I am looking gorgeous again. Oh my gosh, it was like 113 degrees in there, and oh man, I'm dead. I'm actually dead. Okay. I have no words. I really don't. Okay. I'm gonna head home now. Okay, so I am cleaned up. I'm in my PJs. I am working on fixing dinner for myself right now, but I wanted to give you a reading update. So I've mostly been listening to the audiobook, but while I was taking a bath, I did read some of the physical book as well. So synced up into the physical book, I am on page 102, which it is a 337 page book, so it's I'm almost a third of the way through, and I'll just give you a little bit of my thoughts right now. So I find some of the discussions really, really fascinating. I mean, I am not a trans woman, so I cannot speak to, you know, that lived experience. So I'm learning, at least in a fictional sense, what that experience is like. So some interesting discussions about like fetishization and stuff like that has been brought up, and Ames has, you know, brought up the discussion of detransitioning. Even though he's detransitioned, he still identifies as trans. So there's some interesting things I'm taking in so far from this book. I do already have some issues with it. My main issue is that I don't really like the way it is structured in terms of how the story is told. It's not told chronologically and it's jumping back and forth. I think sometimes that works really, really well, but I'm not loving it in this book. Basically, a character will mention something that happens, and then all of a sudden you flash back to that and you tell that whole story, and then you're back to another present, and it's jumping around in a way that I'm not loving. I'm not following it, I just don't prefer it. Another issue I'm having, and I don't know whether this is intentional or not, you know how sometimes you have an unlikable main character and they are supposed to be unlikable, and sometimes I like that. Like, okay, an example of a book where, like, okay, Daisy Jones and the Six. I hated Daisy Jones, to be honest. Like, I hated her as a character, but I think we weren't supposed to like her. I think we were supposed to find her the least likable character in that book. This book, Reese, I am having a really hard time liking her. Her actions have been incredibly hypocritical. I don't know. I just kind of, the way that she's disrespected Ames bothers me, and that could change. My opinion of her could change by the end of the book, but right now I'm not loving her. So yeah, that's my main reading check-in. My timer just went off, so I need to remove some things from the oven and all that. So yeah. Okay, so it's like 10:30 now, and I made myself, I didn't eat lunch today. You know, I didn't eat lunch today. I ate my breakfast at 12:30. So basically I was like, I gotta eat a decent amount. So I made this salad with like tons of orzo in it, and I mean, this meal like took up a popcorn bowl. So I'm over here and I'm like trying to eat a little bit more of it, but I don't know, I might give up in a minute. But for Detransition Baby, I am on page 128. Not a whole lot of updates in terms of feelings. I do have to say that I don't want to spoil anything, but there is an interaction between Ames and Katrina. Katrina is the woman that Ames got pregnant. There is I'm just trying to think of a way of saying this without spoiling it. But my understanding of Ames' thought process was different than what was actually happening. And then Ames has this conversation with Katrina, and Katrina's like, are you a psychopath? Like, are you seriously? And I honestly was like, yeah, like, I'm kind of with you, Katrina, like that. If it was phrased to me in that way, I would have felt the same way too. So I don't know. It's funny. So I won't say I'm loving this. I will say I'm enjoying this, and I think it's very different than, you know, most things that are out there, most things that I've read. So I'm enjoying it because I'm getting an insight on a lived experience that's not my own. Am I loving the story, and am I loving
the characters or the structure of the story, not right now. Right now, it's okay to good. I'll say that. So we shall see. I think I might tap out tonight and just like watch Netflix or YouTube or something like that. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of done with this story tonight. I'm over a third of the way through. So, yeah. And so I'll certainly give my full thoughts in my August wrap up. I'm anticipating a 3-star, maybe a 4-star, depending on if it turns around. But at this point, I'd probably say 3 stars. Again, it's one of those things where, and this is a thing I run into a lot, where I really love something that an author is trying to say, but the execution or the actual story maybe isn't a love for me, you know what I mean? So, but I think it's good. I mean, okay to good, basically. But I think I may leave it here. So I hope this was entertaining. I have no idea. I hope it's not just totally boring. And if this goes well, then I think I'll keep doing this at least a few weekends a month. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!